Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. And today we're going to take a slightly different tact. I am going to cover how to spot the trend, tools for savvy traders and investors. And the different tact is that I'm not going to show you actual wave counts because the strategy that I use has the wave counts almost embedded in the charts. And I'm going to show you what that means, and I'm going to show you how to read the charts, and I hope that you get a lot out of this. So let's get started. Please read the disclaimer. Very important to read the disclaimer. And this is me quite a while ago now with my book, The Trader's Pendulum, the 10 Habits of Highly Successful Traders. And the Trader's Pendulum talks about three different types of pendulums: the market pendulum, the emotional pendulum, and the financial pendulum. All traders experience all of these pendulums. Today, we're going to talk about how the emotional pendulum, the emotions, feed into the market swings, and that's the market pendulum. And that can affect the P&L, obviously, which is the financial pendulum. So what process do I follow to find trades, have the confidence to pull the trigger, and manage my trades with clarity? Just briefly, the market map is what we're going to really discuss, and that's the analysis part. That's where the Elliott wave analysis comes in, the Fibonacci analysis. That's where you decide on the direction of the market. That's where you decide on which markets you want to look at. And then you have a strategy. So the strategy that I use is called the Wavy Tunnel Pro, and we have a tool that I'm going to show you as well. And really the very important aspect, it's the most important aspect, is to use optimal risk reward and trade management. Because you can do good analysis, you can have a great strategy, but if you don't really pay attention to number 3, that can make the difference between whether you make money or don't make money and are consistent or not. So this is the market map from the Frost and Proctor book on the right, and there is Fibonacci. And from the market map, we can see the Fibonacci sequence. So the market can be 1 waves, 5 waves, when we break it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm looking at the motive waves, the impulse waves on the left, 21 waves when you break down waves. When you break this down, after you have 5, you get 21, and then you get 89. So the Fibonacci sequence shows up in counting all of the waves. And on the right, we have a 3-wave correction. This is most commonly referred to as a zigzag, and there are many corrections in the market, but this is the steep correction that corrects the impulse wave. And this is the market map, and I'm going to show you how I use this with the Wavy Tunnel Pro. And all of these swing highs and lows are called pivot highs and lows, pivot points, etc. So that's about as much wave counting as we're going to do, and I didn't count those waves. But trading is a challenge due to market uncertainty. On the right, you can see, hopefully you can see the same market map that I just showed you. Trading market swing can create an emotional roller coaster. So when we are trading up in an uptrend, and when we're up here, you get all traders being very optimistic and exuberant, loading up perhaps, only to find that it's the end of the 5-wave sequence or the end of the uptrend, and then the market turns around. So up here, traders are, I don't know, they're just going with it. Understanding market cycles and timing is crucial for success, because once we reach this point, we are going to have a correction. Now, I'm not saying that you just sell, but you can take profits along the way. And then you wait, because most likely we will have a correction. This is a very steep correction. This is the ABC correction, the zigzag that I told you. At this point, after the first 5-wave move down for the wave A, then we get usually a sideways consolidation for a wave B. It might be a weak move higher for a wave B. And at this point, traders are thinking, okay, we've seen the bottom, we're going up again. And that's possible that we do that this was the entire correction. But if it's not the entire correction, then we are going to make an even more vicious leg down in a wave C, which is where traders get fearful and they're panicked and discouraged and they bail. Now, this is where we have to change our mindset, and we need to think up here, okay, we're going to lighten up, not load up. And down here, we're not going to bail, we're going to lighten in. Okay? So a structured roadmap and simple timing tools can provide clarity and consistency once you get this Elliott wave roadmap in your mind. So problems traders face, common issues and their consequences: volatility in the market, consequence, trade impulsively, lead to an emotional roller coaster ride. And believe me, I'm very familiar with roller coaster rides. I started trading Forex for JP Morgan in the 80s when the Forex markets were just beginning. And I traded the British pound actually from the 220s down to 105 and back up to the 150s. That was an emotional roller coaster ride. And yeah, when I think back at some of the things that I did, like staying up all night to watch the markets and leaving orders and calling some of the overseas branches and getting calls when I was supposed to be sleeping. Okay, not good. I don't do that anymore. And I don't trade Forex really anymore either. I trade, right now I trade stocks, options, and futures markets. Timing market entries and exits. What's the consequence? Chasing the market or exiting too soon, missing out on potential gains. And then achieving consistent profits. One bad trade can negate a week's worth of profits. I'm sure that you've all experienced that. You do chip away, chip away, chip away, and then maybe emotions get in the way, or you don't leave a stop loss in the market, and then you give up your whole week. Okay, plus some. Lack of boundaries and rules. What's the consequence? Feeling lost and unstructured, resulting in winging it. It's really important to have structure. For me, it is. This is really for me. I need structure in my life. I just came back from a week of meditating last week. I feel great right now, and that is helping me. So I do try to meditate every single day before I trade, so that I can just feel less burdened and just more structured. Okay. Easily influenced. What's the consequence? Lack of independent thinking, following the herd mentality. So we do want to have independent thinking, and we want to have clear goals, because otherwise we will have a lack of direction and measurable success in trading. So summary: need for structured approach, effective tools, and accountability. Very, very important. So what if you had a system that explained how to understand and trade the market cycles using the market roadmap? And what if you had simple tools to trade the roadmap efficiently and effectively, and perhaps scan for trades and follow a trade plan to effectively trade the setups? And what if you had accountability to do what you say you were going to do? Accountability is so, so important. So let's get started. Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. And that's up here. We need to be fearful up here, train the brain, and be greedy down here. We talked about this, the emotional roller coaster, and the tendency for traders to buy up here and to sell down here. So this is where we want to take profits and sell, and this is where we want to train the brain to buy. Now, this on the left is one screenshot that I took of NASDAQ futures. Look, what I want you to do is to see the market roadmap. This is the Wavy Tunnel Pro setup. We have the wave, and then we have the tunnel. So when we have this purple arrow on top, this is when we have to look to take profits. And what are we looking for? Once the market moves down in an A and a sideways B, and we break down, we're looking for somewhere in here and even below the tunnel. And then we get our gray arrow. So this is the market map that I'm going to show you using many examples now. And what do you do with this market roadmap? Well, down here, you're looking to buy. This is the wave 5 trade. This can also be a wave 2 or a wave 4, the end of a wave 2 or a wave 4. And again, I don't necessarily label the waves. I just use this chart pattern as a pattern to know that I should be looking at going long down here. And this, because the markets are fractal, these patterns show up on all different time frames. And I would certainly do a top-down approach and look at the other time frames as I'm finding trades. So again, just look at the roadmap on the left and compared to the Wavy Tunnel Pro roadmap on the right. These are patterns. Notice the channels with which confine the trend. So that's another thing that you can do. You can draw channel lines around the uptrend and the correction. Very, very important. So how to read and interpret the market map using the Wavy Tunnel Pro indicator suite. I call those simple timing tools where we can anticipate market direction and leverage the market roadmap to foresee market movements and then understand market turning points and grasp the implications of key market reversals. We're going to do a case study now. We're going to use ES examples on multiple time frames, and we're going to show you the market roadmap in action using simple timing tools. Now, you can easily replace the ES with the SPY, SPY. I just happen to have the ES done here. I also have the SPY done on another trading platform, but we're going to go through it using the ES futures. So we're going to start with the weekly time frame, which can be a long-term investment strategy, and utilizing the roadmap to understand the broader market cycles and longer-term trends. Now, I'm going to show you all of these examples in this case study. So this is the weekly, and I want to this is your roadmap, and then we had the purple arrow here. This was the market turning point. And then we came down and we had this October 2022. This was where you saw your gray arrow, time to buy. 2022 was a horrendous year for stocks, a horrendous year, because this is what happened. In Elliott wave terminology, I would label this an extended correction, a complex correction. I would label this a WXYXZ. So a triple combination. And then the market took off, and that was it. So this was the correction, but a horrendous year because we just never let up. We kept coming down, and I can remember being at this level and thinking, okay, maybe this is the bottom because this is a nice three-way correction. It went right into the tunnel, and yes, we had a nice rally, but it was a three-wave rally, and when you rally correctively and then you start to break down, you know we're going down for another low. And I have the market roadmap in the diagram right over here. You can see the picture. Now let's go to October 2023, which is right over here, and you will see the exact same pattern, but on the daily chart. Okay, so the exact same pattern. And here we go. You have the purple arrow up here, and then you have the gray arrow down here, and this is where the wave separates from the tunnel, and then we start the correction. We start the correction. This was also a very deep correction on the daily, but look at the pattern. It's the same exact pattern that we just saw on the weekly. And then looking at August 2024, this is the daily chart. We got another one of these three-wave moves down into the tunnel. So what I like to do is I like to look for these deep corrections, and then I would maybe take a position going the other way. And again, you have to train your brain. Like, can you anticipate this move down? Well, normally the price moves down first, and then we have some kind of retracement of the initial leg, and then it's the third leg that most traders can get a handle on. Okay, it's not so easy to pick a top and to say, okay, the market is going to stop here or here or here or here. It's not, that's not a given. You have to wait until the market shows its hand and starts to actually correct. So this was the daily chart in August of 2024. Now we're going to look at a 4-hour time frame. Again, medium-term trend analysis and trade setup, applying the market roadmap to capture midterm opportunities and manage the trade. Okay. And so this is May, the 4-hour. Now, when you can see this on the weekly chart, that doesn't happen very often. Like the last time it happened was in October of 2022. We haven't seen that weekly sell-off to this extent since then. And we've had to go down to the smaller time frames. So I can remember back in October of 2022, I was getting signals on our scanner on like almost every stock to buy. It was just really incredible. I just didn't know which ones to buy. You had to really decide because you had the pick of the litter, literally. And so this is the 4-hour chart in May, same pattern. I just want you to recognize the pattern. This is gray because we made a new high, but it was purple initially. Purple is the biggest swing move, then comes gray, then comes yellow, then red, then blue. And in between, you have your swing moves. So you could call these swing moves, you could label them with Elliott wave counts. But again, I like to trade the waves without really counting the waves. That's why that's why we developed this system. So you could count the waves and trade the waves without really counting the waves, like putting labels on them. But you can also use the awesome oscillator, and when you see divergence in the awesome oscillator and when you see a peak in the awesome oscillator, you can label this a wave 3 loosely and this a wave 5 loosely, okay, of whatever degree it is. And then we have the ABC correction, and then off we go again. So these are best found on a scanner. I'm going to show you that. So that was the 4-hour in May. And this is the 4-hour in June. Notice to the left, we have the May, and this is the June. We don't quite make it down to the tunnel. So what that means is that the market is anxious to get buying again. So we don't have it in July. This is July on the 4-hour. We're not seeing this kind of deep correction on the daily chart because the market is bullish and we have to go down a time frame. Now let's look at the short-term trend analysis and trade setup, looking at the 1-hour time frame and apply the market roadmap for swing trading opportunities. In June, look at the pattern, same pattern. The wave is above the tunnel and you have the purple arrow, and then we have a purple, yellow, yellow, gray. This is a beautiful pattern. It took us a while to get going, but this was a gorgeous pattern. Same thing. You also have this divergence. Well, you have divergence down here when price makes a new low and the awesome oscillator makes a higher low. So you have to look at a few things to recognize that we have seen a bottom and a turning point. So that was on the 1-hour chart in June. Now for day trading, you can also apply the roadmap for intraday day trading opportunities. So we're just going to look at the 15-minute time frame for just one opportunity, but these show up every single day. I trade futures and they show up every single day, whether long or short. And this is, I typically like to trade from the long side and take my profits once we extend, but that's what I like to do. So this would be a long trade because you have a beautiful uptrend. You have lots of divergence here. This is gorgeous. And then the market comes down. We don't quite make it to below the tunnel, but this is a valid setup for a purple, gray, and then it turns to gray once we trade higher than that. So this is for day trading on the 15-minute chart. So what is the summary from what we've discussed? By mastering the market roadmap using simple timing tools and applying it across different time frames, traders can enhance their ability to follow market movements and make informed trading decisions. This framework provides a comprehensive view of the benefits of using simple timing tools for trading ES futures across various time frames from intraday to long-term strategies. You can set this up yourself. You won't be able to get these indicators but I'll show you how you can get these indicators afterwards. But you can set up the moving averages yourself and look for the Elliott wave structure. When the wave separates from the tunnel dramatically, we're in a wave 3, okay? We're in a wave 3, which is the strongest and the longest move most often. And then when the market settles down and we have divergence in the awesome oscillator, that's the end of the swing move. And we can call that a wave 5. So you have divergence between the peak in the awesome oscillator for the wave 3 and the lower high in the awesome oscillator for the wave 5. That's how I count the waves. And then when you have your deep correction down into the tunnel, that's when I start to look at if I want to go long. Okay. And I guess I'm seeing some questions too. And okay, you're noting that it looks like a head and shoulders. Absolutely. When we saw the market map earlier, we saw a bunch of head and shoulder patterns. So a 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, 5 ABC is a head and shoulders pattern, AB. And then you can sell the neckline. This is not a great example of that. Okay, but maybe we can see a better example. So I want to show you something. I want to look at some ETF and stock examples and have you understand the setup even more, okay? This is from sectorspiders.com, sector tracker, so you can call this up yourself. And I just searched for year-to-date returns. And now the last column on the right was year-to-date returns 2 weeks ago, okay? And this was yesterday. Okay, so now today this is higher, a little bit higher, but you can see how everything has shifted. Like we have sold off. So the S&P index was up 18%, as of yesterday, up 13%, and Nasdaq had the biggest sell-off from 16% to 5.94%. Real estate was flat for most of the year and negative, and now look, it's catching up because of prospect of lower interest rates. With the prospect of lower interest rates, real estate does better. But for a good part of the year, real estate suffered. It was -5%, -4%. So I look at this to get a handle on what all of the different sectors are doing. And the other thing that I do that we're going to look at is you can see what all the top stocks are in the S&P 500, and I have that here. So I just searched for this came up, and I just clicked on percent change. So this is the highest percent change, and this is as of yesterday. And so again, because we had the sell-off, these numbers were much higher. Okay, but I just want to show you, I'm going to show you a lot of these stocks to show you the patterns, because I want you to learn the patterns. NVIDIA. Oh, and by the way, the charts that I showed you earlier on the ES, those were Ninja Trader charts. Ninja Trader charts. These are motive wave charts. Okay, we have our indicators and our scanners on different platforms. Okay, Ninja Trader, MT4, Trade Station, Motive Wave, and Wealth Charts. So this is the purple arrow. And then the market came down for NVIDIA and we got the gray arrow. This was the time to buy. This is where a lot of traders got shaken out. And then we had this reversal candle, but this was the time to buy. Our indicator said buy here. And also, where are we? We're in the zone where you need to be looking to buy. And then the market moves up, and up here, what are we here in terms of Fibonacci retracement of this entire move down? So I took from this high point to this low point. We're at 78.6 up here. And then the market turned around, and this is where we are now. Okay. So we also have to look at, if you do buy here, you also have to be cognizant of, okay, what happens if this is the first leg of the correction and this is the, okay, this can be an ABC and this can be a 1-2, or this can be the first leg of a correction, an A, a B, and we're headed down for a C. We don't know that. Okay, we absolutely don't know that, which is why if you do buy down here, it's good to take profits along the way. And then you can always get in again. So that's NVIDIA. Vistra, okay, VST, you can see the symbol down here, part of XLU, up 94.57% year to date. So same pattern. The wave separates from the tunnel. You have a purple arrow down here, and then you have a gray arrow down here. Okay. And this is where our scanners gave us, said buy down here. And then we moved up, we stopped, and we came down again. So for me, it's really easy to see, to be buying down here. It's not so easy to know when you take your profits, because this can continue on up and make a new high, which is why it's good to just leg out of, like, to take your profits and even liquidate, I don't know, 3/4 of your profit, just in case this happens and in case we make a new low. Okay. Here's another one. Now this is interesting. HWOM, Howmet Aerospace Inc. from XLI, up 73%. This is interesting because you have your wave and price is not correcting to the tunnel. Like, we just keep on accelerating higher and then trading sideways, but the wave is really holding the price action, and then we move up. Now we have the purple arrow. So now we're at a crossroads. What are we going to do here? Are we going to continue to move up? Are we going to consolidate sideways? Or are we going to break down and have a major correction? It's difficult to say. I can tell you that we do have some divergence in the awesome oscillator between this peak and this peak, but we really don't know, do we? We just don't know. This is a very, very strong stock. Here's another strong stock, TRGP, Targa Resources Corp. From XLE, up 65% this year. We had the inkling that maybe we could come down and maybe come down to the tunnel. But when you have a very, very bullish stock and that's being bought, we don't always get this major correction. So this would not have shown up on our scanner, for example, because on that scanner with the breakout 4 trade with the wave 2 or the wave 4 bottom, this is just a very strong stock again. And here is GE. Now look, here we did get the lower gray arrow, but we didn't come down below the tunnel. So we got a lower gray arrow. And this would not have shown up on our scanner because a few other things have to happen and the price would have had to go lower. But I'm just showing you what the market map looks like for all of the stocks that have outperformed in the S&P. That's what I showed you from the spider tracker. Okay, but this is interesting. Also a strong stock. Now, Here's another one, PGR, Progressive Corp, also a strong chart stock. But notice that even with a strong stock, you do get your gray upper arrow and your gray lower arrow. You can always buy into this and you get your red upper and your red lower. You can always buy into it. This is a very sideways correction right here. And when corrections are sideways, you can literally draw horizontal channel lines around the correction. And then when we break out, most likely we're going higher. So you can use the dips in the lower end of the channel to buy if you like the stock, or you can wait until we break out and then buy. So this is one type of correction. The steep correction is the one that takes us below the tunnel in Elliott wave terms. That would be a zigzag into the tunnel. This is a sideways correction, so it's not a zigzag. Now we get the pattern. We get the steep correction. This is Eli Lilly, and this is the correction that we got in August. We had the sell-off. This was purple, the purple arrow, and this was the gray arrow. And then we had the steep correction into the tunnel. Okay, remember this. and then we gapped higher and we took off. So now during this sell-off, here we are. We are at a juncture now. So we can call this, let's see what the awesome oscillator is telling us. Well, the awesome oscillator between this peak and this peak gave us this top. And now, I don't know, I guess these tops are about equal. So from here, we don't know where we're going from here. We could move up, make a new high. We could move up and correct this move and then come down further. It's not, for me, it's not as decisive from this point. For me, it's more decisive from this point. I can make an assumption that we are going to go higher, okay, from this point. From here, it's not so easy, okay? Here's another one, NRG, energy, and I think this is the last one. It's up 50% for the year to date, same pattern. So I just want you to recognize this pattern. Does everybody see the pattern? Type a Y in the box if you see a pattern, okay? So you have the purple arrow and you have the gray arrow, okay? I'm getting some yeses, some Ys. Yeah, I hope you see the pattern. It's really important to see the pattern. Okay, so I use the Wavy Tunnel Pro strategy and the wave in the tunnel to get an idea of where we are in the Elliott wave cycle without necessarily counting the waves. Now, so I always said that I wasn't a consummate wave counter, and even at the bank, we had an Elliott wave technician on the desk who would merely tell us. He taught us about Elliott wave analysis, and now he works for institutions, and I would listen to him and I would learn, and I was on the desk trading. So if he said, okay, we're approaching the end of a move here, wave 3, wave 5, be careful, I would listen up. And then of course I learned all about it myself, and I decided, I'd rather be trading than analyzing, than counting waves. And so that's how I framed my career, and this Wavy Tunnel Pro strategy is just great for that. So now we're going to introduce, we just showed you the elite indicators, the indicators. Okay, now we're going to show you the scanner tool where you can scan for these market roadmap trades. You can identify trend and end of trend trades and recognize the market roadmap turning points with trend line breaks. We have trend line breaks also. And we have 6 different trade plans for the Wavy Tunnel Pro setups. So the case study is going to show you the Elite Scanner in action on the platforms, demonstrations on MotiveWave, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, and MT4. Now, I took these examples from today, okay? Not NinjaTrader, but for MotiveWave and TradeStation and MT4, these are as of today. So listen up. So we're going to start with motive wave, and I would like to just share with you the 6 Wavy Tunnel Pro setups first. And this is the original Wavy Tunnel Pro setup without the bells and whistles. Okay, this is what we started with. So the PWFG is the price to wave, fill the gap, and that's this move right here. So from the end of the wave 5 to A to B, this is the price to wave into the wave, and then to B, and then down to C is the fill the gap. So the gap is the gap between the wave and the tunnel. That's what it is. Okay, the gap between the wave and the tunnel. Let me just see something here. Okay. The breakout 1 is when the wave crosses above or below the tunnel. And the breakout 2 and the breakout 4, that's what I'm going to show you in the scanner, and that's what we discussed. That would be the move down here, the place to be buying. Okay. And the breakout 3 trade are moves along the wave. When we're in an uptrend, I showed you a few of those examples where the market just comes down into the wave, and then blasts off again. Okay. This is why you need a scanner if you're scanning like 500 stocks and you want to have a scanner to show you these trade setups or to show you the purple arrows. Like that's why you have a scanner, to show you your trade setups. So I ran this on motive wave today. On the left, you can't really see the whole thing. Okay. This is the breakout 4 trade. That's what we call it, the breakout 4 trade. And I ran the scanner on 500 stocks. And I think you can't see the results, but I think we got around 80 or 90 results on the left side. Scanning on the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour charts. The red boxes around these symbols are the ones that show the breakout 4 trade for uptrends. Every single other stock is bearish. That we've reached a certain point and it would be a bearish breakout 4 trade. Now that doesn't mean that you sell it. It means that it potentially can come down, but obviously the strong stocks are going to blow right through that and move higher. So only 5 stocks just on the screen here. I didn't go down the whole 89. I just, whatever number is on here, showed long, and I'm going to show you these. On the right side, it's the same scan, but it's for the signal. So I can show you the difference between ready and signal is when I show you a chart. So let's look at Google. That's the first one. This is Google. So you see the same pattern. So you have the purple arrow, and then you have the gray arrow. And I can tell you, looking at this, that the gray arrow didn't appear over here. Okay, this signal on the scanner didn't appear over here. I can tell you that. Okay, it only appeared for the first time over here. So the ready is when you get the gray arrow, and the signal is when, this is the 12 EMA filter line. The signal is when price closes above this 12 EMA filter line. So this is sort of an early trade. You're getting the gray arrow. Does this mean that it's going to go up from here? Definitively, no. That's why for confirmation, we like to see the signal. So this is a watch. When you get the ready, it's really a watch. Okay. The next one, and look at the pattern. This is more choppy, but it did show the gray arrow and the purple and then the gray. This is a very choppy sideways correction. HAL. Okay, so you can see that all of these markets come in different shapes and sizes. This is the market roadmap that we're familiar with, where you have a very strong move up where the wave is separated from the tunnel, and then boom. Okay, so this is MCK. Again, we don't have the signal, we just have the ready, so it's a watch. These are all watches. And then DE. Okay, DE, you have the ready and the signal because we closed above the filter here. So that's the difference. We closed above the green moving average here. So that's the difference. Okay. And here's another one, EA, where we have the purple arrow and then we get the gray. And this is the first time that we get the gray, the first time. So if I'm looking at a stock and if I'm seeing us trading sideways and it's like a weak sideways market, I'm almost anticipating that we are going to do the fill the gap between the wave and the tunnel and move below the tunnel. That's what I'm anticipating. Okay. Now, do we have any questions that I can answer at this point? I feel like I've gotten some questions and I haven't answered, if anything. If you have any questions, please ask them. I'm just looking. Yeah, so no current question. You had a bunch of questions before on previous charts. Sorry about that. So as you're typing in questions, I'll just keep going. But I hope that you see the pattern. So does everybody see the pattern that we're talking about? And this is just it's a beautiful pattern to understand. So that's Motive Wave, the Motive Wave scanner. And on Motive Wave, you can also scan for the purple arrows and the gray arrows. And there are a few other things that you can scan for as well. Okay. Now we're going to look at TradeStation. Okay. TradeStation, I need to change. This is scanning the S&P. You can scan anything, so you can scan any index. So these are just the S&Ps, the 500 stocks in the S&P. So we don't have anything current. I just wanted to show you that. This is on the daily. Sometimes you need to scan on the smaller time frames to get 1 and 2 for ready and signal on the smaller time frames. Like I told you, on the weekly chart from October 2022, this is where we had readies for like hundreds of stocks. Okay, 1s and 2s and 3s for hundreds of stocks, because that was the low of the market before it turned around. So having scanned this today, I'm going to show you the top a few of these here. If it's red, it's a short, and if it's green, it's a long. So the first one that I'm going to show you is Cisco, and this was a short. On the left, we have the weekly. In the middle, we have the daily, and I have the 15-minute on the right. To be fair, this should probably be the 4-hour or the 1-hour, but I wasn't getting the data in, so I put up the 15-minute. It just wasn't, I needed to wait for a longer time for all the data to come in for the smaller time frame. So let's look at the weekly. So with the weekly, the market came down and then it moved back up and we got a red dot. Okay. Well, that's where on the daily, we got the gray dot. And you can also see a bunch of trend lines here. Usually I take them off if we're not discussing the trend lines, but you do have automatic trend lines here. And all of these arrows, like this purple arrow pertains to this trend line break when we came down here. This red arrow pertains to this trend line break when we went up here. And once we get the gray arrow, the system automatically comes up with your stop loss, which is above the highs, and your profit targets, which are Fibonacci retracements from this to this. Okay, that's what it is, Fibonacci levels. So I think this is the 50%, the 61.8%, and the 78.6 most likely. And you can be more conservative as well. You can start with 38.2, 50%, 61.8. You can change it. So this is Cisco, and this was a short. Okay, I'm just showing you. This is Amazon. Now, the ready happened like many candles ago. But what can happen is you can continue to watch it and notice you got the gray arrow here because the gray arrow is when price goes above closes above the signal line, which is the 12 EMA. That's the signal. So we had all of these days of ready before we actually closed up here. And we hit we hit 2 profit targets here, but you have to decide what, how you want to use it. If you want to use the ready or if you want to use the signal. So now we've been trading sort of sideways. So I always say that if you do get a gray and then you can see some sideways price action, if you're still bullish, you can just buy a dip, buy a retracement. Okay? Here's Microsoft. So Microsoft also, we had the ready here, and then we didn't have the signal until here. And we moved up. We hit 2 profit targets out of 3, and then we had a move down. We had a nice 3-wave move down thus far. So this could be the first move up and then the next move down, like wave 1, wave 2, and then we're going to continue to move up, or we can hang out here and we can have more of a corrective move. Okay, we don't know. And you can look at the weekly here. We had an impulsive move down. So this could be part of an ABC structure up. Okay, so this can be part, when you look at the bigger time frame, you can see it better. So this could be the impulse down and then an A, B, and we could have a C wave up. Okay, that's what it's looking like to me, but I don't know. I mean, this looks like a 5-wave move and this looks like a 3-wave correction. So there's your market map looking for a move higher for the C wave higher. This is, okay, so this is XLK, the technology. Now, looking at the weekly, we have the purple dot, we came down, and we had a strong move up. At this point, when we came down, we get the red dot. This is where we get the gray dot on the daily chart. Now, I ran the Fibonacci from this high to this low to show us that we actually went up to the 76.4 level, and we backed off from there. I mean, it's not surprising. We had a very, very big move after having a significant down move. We traded up impulsively almost, but it still looks like a 3-wave move to the 76.4. And I was sitting there thinking, my gosh, this is a very, very strong move. We're probably going to trade, sideways from here or do something. I don't see us going straight, straight through. So here we are now. But my point is that these scanners will find you levels to start to look and do a top-down approach and say, okay, is this a good level? Should I be interested here? Now let's look at NinjaTrader. Okay. For NinjaTrader, you can get, okay, and oh, I see a question. I see a few questions here. Do you have a book that is specific to EW? I do not, but I have a course that is specific to EW. You can email me if you'd like, Jody at fxtradersedge.com. But my book, my Trader's Pendulum book, there is a chapter, but it loosely talks about EW. It's not, okay. When does the gray dot print? Does it print during the formation of the bar that it's above? It prints at the close of the bar. So yeah, at the close of the bar. Okay. Yeah. Do you have those scanners for toss? No, I don't have them on toss. Okay, I'm going to show you what I have them on. Oh, okay, so let's look at NinjaTrader. So with NinjaTrader, you can efficiently monitor your favorite futures markets, great for day trading and swing trading, take trades on your favorite Wavy Tunnel Pro setups. And you can also get alerts on the purple and gray swing points. So I'm just going to show you, I ran this scanner on these futures markets about a month ago, month and a half ago, whenever we had the peak, we had the daily upper purple, the royal on the 4 indices. Let me just grab a drink. Hold on. Okay, and I'm going to show you what they look like. So the YM daily, we got the purple arrow. We got the purple arrow on RTY. We got the purple arrow on the ES and on NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ sold off first. Remember that when NASDAQ was selling off and the other markets were still rallying, the YM was still rallying and NASDAQ was selling off. So this was our first indication that NASDAQ was weaker and that there was a bit of a move out of NASDAQ, profit taking in NASDAQ. So we had the daily red candle, we had the sideways candles, and then the third move down, the third leg down. But we got the we had the purple arrows on the scanner. I mean, you don't have to use the scanner to see the purple arrows. Then I looked at the daily lower noble. I just ran the usual scan on the it scans. This scans. I set it up to run on the daily, the 4 hour, the 60-minute. But we got daily lower nobles on these. So after we get the purple, we got the lower gray. Okay, this is the NASDAQ, the NQ. We got the lower gray. Okay, ABC. We got the lower gray on the ES, ABC. We got the lower gray on RTY, ABC. We didn't get the lower gray on the YM. We got a yellow, but good enough. And that was the swing point, the bottom of the move. Now you can also day trade. So this is the YM. We got, we get these every single day. You can set an alert for gray arrows. And then the trend lines also kicked off the buys. Okay. MT4, and then we're going to be done. MT4 is a platform for Forex traders, and depending on where you live, you can also get commodities and cryptos and stock indices and even stock CFDs, depending on where you live. If you're in the US, you really can't get stock CFDs. Select the time frames. Day traders, I like to look at 3 time frames: 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes. Swing traders, 1 arrow, 4 hour, and daily. Position takers, 4 hour, daily, and weekly. So these are the time frames that I look at. Look at the scanner for the setups and define your trade plan and go. So this morning, this is the Forex scanner. Okay, with the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 15-minute I looked at the euro, and the first thing that caught my eye was we had a 1 in this position. A 1 is the purple arrow on the M15. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. This is the euro on the M15. So this is what showed up on the scanner. So now what we're going to do is look at do a top-down approach and look at the daily to see where we are. We're in the wave. That's good. We want to look at the 4 hour. Oh, we have our breakout 4 trade at the tunnel. So that's good. That's a check. We're looking at the hourly. We have a nice move down with divergence. We have a purple arrow, so that's a check. And then we have the 5 minute. So the 15-minute was what gave us the signal to take a look. So then what you do is you have to look at the smaller time frames if you're day trading, and sometimes it's nice to see a 1, 2, 3 reversal. And then that's it. And it looks like, yeah, that's it. This is the euro. So that would have been a buy. And then I looked at the pound and I saw the same thing. We saw 1s on the M15, a 1 on the H1, and we saw a 4 on the H4. So this is the H4, the 4 hour, and we have the gray arrow. So that's good. And then we take a look at the daily. We're in the wave. Okay. The 4 hour, we have a gray arrow. Okay. The 1 hour, we have the purple, so it's the end of a swing move, and then the 15-minute. Now, during the day, the market actually did go higher, okay? If I would show you the 5-minute chart, it would have, I think it went up to the tunnel. So if this was the purple arrow, it would have gone all the way up to the tunnel, okay? So that's on Forex. You can also scan for the stock indices and bonds. You could set up your scanner however you want. You could set it up for commodities, however you want. So what's the offer? I'm going to show you the offer. Exclusive access to our market roadmap and timing tools, understand how the markets trade in cycles. We have a lot of education, like a lot of videos to explain this. You get the education along with the timing tools. Use our proprietary combination of cycle high and low indicators with momentum indicators to warn of market tops and bottoms. It works with stocks, futures, ETFs, Forex, and cryptocurrencies. Works for day swing and position trading. Find precise entry points for option strategies. Embrace this suite of professional tools to trade like a pro. And the indicator suite and scanners are on MT4, TradeStation, MotiveWave, and NinjaTrader. And just the indicator suite is on Wealth Charts. So bonuses, elite tool scanner training, live training sessions on the key Wavy Tunnel Pro trade plans, dedicated Discord channel, one-on-one coaching session with me, monthly office hours to discuss setups and answer questions. And for today only, fast action bonus, if you get an indicator suite, if you get the scanner on one of the platforms, I'm going to give you a free indicator suite on TradingView with purchase. I know a lot of you have TradingView as well, so you'll get that. You'll get the indicators on TradingView as well. And I'm offering a first month trial for $49. So you can try this out for $49 and then it will renew for $5.97 for a 6-month subscription. Okay, and if you have a problem with that, you can contact me at Jody at fxtradersedge.com. So it's roughly $99 a month once you renew. Okay. And these are the 4 different platforms. And on Wealth Charts, you get a year subscription because there is no scanner, but you do get beautiful indicators for Wealth Charts. So that's it for me. You can always email me with questions, Jody at fxtradersedge.com or support at fxtradersedge.com. And I want to thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day.